What's up guys, so in today's video we'll be discussing about Rishikesh in the month of April 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting. Overall, is it a good time to be going to Rishikesh, and most of all, what is the budget that you need to keep in mind when you're traveling to Rishikesh for the month of April 2025. Now, starting off with the weather, remember that April is the start of summer in Rishikesh, so it's not very hot, but the daytime temperature can range from anywhere between 25 to 35 degrees depending on where you are. So keep in mind that when you're traveling to Rishikesh in the month of April, it's pretty much like traveling to maybe any part of southern India. So you can travel with your shorts, but just remember to have a very good pair of sunglasses with you. The nighttime temperature after sunset, where the mercury level will dip to anywhere between 12 to 18 degrees. That's why in the month of April it's very important to get your accommodation spot on. The closer to the river you stay, the more cool and pleasant the weather will be. The further away you stay, and if you're staying in maybe say close to Tapovan or Ramjula, it's going to be really hot because these places, it's a lot of congestion of traffic and human activity, which ultimately leads to you feeling a lot more warmer in these places compared to when you're camping maybe closer to the Ganges. Now remember that in the month of April, it is like pretty much the start of tourist season, summer tourist season in Rishikesh. So if you're planning a trip over the weekend, it's going to be like really crowded. And over the weekend, the cost of traveling to Rishikesh would double. From the bus to the local transport to even the accommodation would go up like 2 to 3 times. So if you're planning a trip midweek, you will spend maybe, I would say, per day around, for your entire 1 week trip, you would spend roughly around 10,000. But on a weekend, if your trip is clubbed with a weekend and you're just going for the weekend, in those 2-3 days you might end up spending 10,000. So that's the difference between traveling to Rishikesh on the midweek and the weekends. If your leaves do not permit you to go on the weekdays and the weekends are the only option, then make sure you're going with a group. And I would say a group of friends is the most ideal way to go there, because that's when the cost will get more affordable and the money splits. Now the next thing is, what are the adventure activities that are possible in the month of April? All activities that you name it are possible. Bungee jumping, trekking, zip lining and rafting, all these are possible, including camping. When you're going camping in Rishikesh, make sure you're going with an authorized camping partner, so that by default they can also help you out with other adventure activities, which include rafting, which is a must do activity when you're in Rishikesh. Do not go to Rishikesh and skip out on the rafting until and unless you have already done it in the past. Now remember, Rishikesh is a holy town, so drinking alcohol is prohibited in public, and at the same time non-vegetarian food is also prohibited. So there are plenty of very good veg restaurants and cafes all over Rishikesh which serve very good food. Most of the campsites in Rishikesh come clubbed with food, so you do not need to worry about your meals. Your meals will be provided for in this accommodation. Now apart from this, what you should be packing for Rishikesh? For your trip to Rishikesh in the month of April, for the days you need light woolens, for the nights you need a light jacket with you. So by default it's a mixed bag, but just make sure that you have a very good pair of shoes when you're traveling to Rishikesh in April, because by default April is the month where it's going to be hot, and at the same time you're going to be walking a lot, because Rishikesh requires you to walk a lot and trek a lot. So if you do not have a good pair of shoes, your legs and your feet are going to take a pounding, and the best way to avoid this is to have a very good pair of shoes. Sunglasses, like I mentioned at the start of the video, are very important, so just have UV protected sunglasses with you. Do not leave home without this, because it's going to be a disaster. Also carry a 1 liter water bottle with you, which can be refilled at your homestay or your hostel or your campsite, wherever you're staying. This will help save up on wasting money by buying plastic packaged water and polluting the environment with plastic waste. Now when it comes to the crowd, April is the month when tourist crowd is going to be there, but it's going to be mainly over the weekends when the crowd is going to flock to Rishikesh. During the midweek, it's not going to be as crowded as what it is over the weekends. So my personal advice is skip going to Rishikesh over the weekends. Try going there during the midweek, because that's when it's going to be really pleasant to be visiting the place in terms of finances and in terms of moving around. Now, if you're someone who's planning on going solo to Rishikesh, the best way to get around Rishikesh would be to take the shared rickshaws which are available all over Rishikesh. That's the most convenient way to get in and out of Rishikesh. If you're okay hiring a scooter, you'll find plenty of people renting out scooters for anywhere between 800 to 2000 rupees. Now, this cost depends entirely on the quality of the scooter, the rush, and your bargaining power. The average amount that you should spend for a scooter would be anywhere between 1000 to 1200, and this is without fuel. Apart from this, what you should be not doing in Rishikesh is, in the month of April, do not book anything last minute, because if you're going to book something last minute, there's a very high probability that you'll end up spending more than what you would spend when you're researching for your trip to Rishikesh, because it's start of summer and there is going to be a lot of tourist crowd coming. So if you are thinking that you will reach Rishikesh and then hunt and search for a cheaper deal, it's not going to really happen. You're just going to end up getting frustrated, and you'll end up spending way more money than what you initially expected to spend. Now, if you're planning a trip to Rishikesh and are confused about how to go about it, you can click on the link in our description and you can go to our website. We have trips to Rishikesh and you can sign up for the trip if you're interested. If you have any queries related to Rishikesh, you can leave a comment in the comment section and we'd be more than happy to help you with our insights and about Rishikesh. So now till our next video about Rishikesh, stay safe.